Hi, I'm Duncan from Fishhead, and today we're talking about the Oceans Legacy Raptus. It is the P10 rod 710H or 7102H rod. So this is a purpose-built popper rod, a bit shorter than the average at 7'10", which enables it to be much easier on the body for working poppers. You can see from the get-go, it's stiffer at the tip. There is a bit of flex there, but certainly stiffer at the tip than most of the all-rounder style rods. And then that just has a nice steady load up all the way through the blank until it gets down into the grips there. Fitting wise, rubber butt cap, very small metal winding check, probably not going to protect you from much, but looks nice. The Fuji reel seat with the winding check. Then we have stainless framed silicon K guides. So big K guides all the way through down to the tip. And then we've got, larger number 16 guides at all the way through to the tip there. All right, let's see how this one performs. Okay, that 155 or 150 gram Dzanga really launches on this rod. The stiffness just punches it out there super easy. And working the popper at this weight, very easy, almost doing no effort whatsoever. I can put extra effort in if I want to, but all I need to do is just lift the rod tip and drop it, and it bloops really nicely. But I can also get a lot more aggressive. Again, doesn't take a lot of effort just to swing it that little bit faster, and you get a really big pop that you just don't get with the softer rods. Okay, with the big Patriot, the big Cup 170, this rod again, being that shorter, stiffer rod, it punches out the big popper pretty comfortably without much effort at all. Now, this is definitely getting a good ka-chunk blooping action from our big cup popper, whereas most of the other rods in this test, all the softer rods have just made it just blur through the water. This one actually can get a good chug and a deep rip. So I'm using less effort than with the softer rods on this lure, but getting a much better result. Okay, working the glide stick bait on the heavy popper rod, pretty easy really. You don't have to think too hard about it. There's enough weight in that stick bait to hold it to the water pretty nicely. You don't need a soft rod to make it stay in, and certainly you can get a really sharp choppy action as well just by twitching the rod tip. So I think it's a bit of a no-brainer when you're using the heavy popper rod to work the gigantic stick baits, nice and easy. See, the tip has a reasonable amount of flex initially. It's not soft, but does actually flex out a bit. And as we step forward and lift, it has got tons of power in the middle. Again, it's very easy lifting with this weight. You can see it just bouncing away there. Flexes through to about that second guide up and then gets quite stiff from there down. So you can definitely feel the bottom end stiffness that helps rip the poppers through the water. Also gives you tremendous lifting power. Okay, so as you can see from the casting and lifting, this rod performed really nicely with being able to pull big poppers through the water effectively. The giant chuggers just, ripped along, did exactly what they're supposed to, and is relatively easy to work with. And also being one of the more affordable rods that we've reviewed in the recent testings, definitely makes it, great value for money. It's physically a bit heavier at the tip end of the rod than some of the others. You notice that once the reel's on there, it does feel like there's a bit more weight in the tip, which you might think, oh, that's really bad. But when you're ripping big poppers, that's often quite good because you can use the extra weight up here in the tip. When you sweep a popper, you just lift the rod up so the rod tip is up beyond the horizon, and just a nice firm rip down and across, and the rod does a lot of the work for you, pulling that popper along. The rod was able to still work some large stick baits. In general, I would say big stick baits typically go quite well on stiffer popper rods anyway, in my opinion. A lot of people get pretty fixated that if they got floating stick baits, you always have to have a soft rod, but I don't feel that's the case with really big stick baits, because big sticks, they create quite a bit of drag in the water, and yeah, with a stiffer popper rod like this, you can just gently sweep, with minimum effort, and the larger stick baits swim quite nicely. Different story if you're going with smaller stick baits. Certainly this one is not going to cut it as well when you get down to 100-gram stick baits, but it's not what it's intended for. This one is really at its best, ripping big lures through the water. And also, being a bit shorter rod, was also quite a comfortable rod for the lift. The 12 kilo lift was easy on the rod, certainly has a bit more in it as well. So if you're looking for a popper rod for chasing some big GTs, big tuners, that sort of thing, then definitely give this one a look. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with more rod reviews.